Did you see the storm coming? Did you see the heel turn from Jade?
Are you speaking of weeks leading up to this, or did I see it from the minute Jade came in the ring to help Tiffany?
The minute she came into the ring.
Yes, saw it from a mile, if not 2 miles away.
Why? What was it that gave it away for you?
Because I'm a smart. Just wrestlers' intuition, seeing how Jade was standing in the ring, her positioning, her movement, the very profound ways. She was handing over the title. She was going out of her way to be sugary sweet and like kind of stroke Tiffany like, hey girl, it's going to be okay. Yes, I knew it was coming. And this is kind of the good and the not so good. I don't want to say the bad because it wasn't bad, but good and not so good of the turn in my eyes. It was good because it was done very wrestling 101. It worked. It was effective. It got the desired response. So it's a giant win. Not so good because I've seen it a million times before. Do something different. But then, see, I counterpoint myself a lot. Okay? Then I go back to my barometer for pro wrestling, which is rock and roll. And I say, come on. It was really good. I really had a great time. It was awesome. But I wish they would have did something different. But they haven't had to do anything different in 20 years. Who am I talking about? Kiss. It ain't broke. Don't fix it. There's no reason to fix it. Don't toy with it. Don't fuck with it, because that type of heel turn, the positioning, the timing, the tone, everything worked as it has always worked. That's why I always say 101. But I don't want to see it coming anymore. Like with wrestling having to evolve, everybody talks about, wrestling's evolved. It's a different time. It's this. Okay, well, how about we think of a new spin on a heel turn and how to do it a little bit differently? Instead of doing it in super slow motion, why don't we do it in a way that grabs people by the throat and give them shock and awe?
It's funny, Bully. The reason why I asked you that question is because I didn't see it coming, but then once it happened, you go back and watch it and they're like, all right, they gave you like, a dozen clues that this was like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like the movie The Sixth Sense.
Yes, it's like, all right, wow, man, like even from the way she looked, the everything, like it screamed, all right, I'm gonna turn heel. So I understand what you're saying and the fact that, like, man, we've seen this a lot, but I understand what you're saying, Bully, and the fact that if it works and it's not broke, don't fix it. The reason I know it worked, Bully, is by the reaction from the crowds. Since Jade has been with the WWE, I don't think I've gotten that type of a reaction from a crowd like we did on Friday night. Like, she got booed out of the building on Friday night.
Julia had come to the ring, boom, all over her, and then Jade hits the ring, does a little something, gives the big boot to Julia. Instead of the whole slowing down of pantomime, what I would have loved to have seen, and this is strictly me personally and my taste, because I've seen everything done to death. Imagine if she would have just kicked Julia. Julia bails out of the ring, turns around, and wham, takes Tiffany's head off. What if they would have sped it up and not given you so much time to think about it? What if it would have been like, what the hell was that? Just a different way to do it. The slow way to do it, it works, and it did work. So I can never sit here and say, well, it didn't work. That wasn't good. It did work. And we're playing to the WWE is playing to a completely new audience at times. They're always playing to a new audience. So kids were probably like, wow, what the hell was that? And people who had never seen a good turn before are probably like, wow, what the hell was that? So I get it. I would just like to see something evolve just a little bit more. catch people a little bit more by surprise. Now, maybe Jade wasn't the right person to do that with. Maybe Paint by Numbers 101 was the right way to go with her because it did work. I'm just giving you personal opinion. Whenever I'm doing something, I always think of what's the typical wrestling way of doing this. Now let me find a different way, a new way. I.e., Dave, when wrestlers retire, what do they do with their boots?
They take them off and they leave them in the ring.
We didn't want to take our boots off and leave them in the middle of the ring. It's been done 1,000 times. Would it have been cool? Would it have worked?
It would have worked.
Would have worked if we would have taken our boots off and just put them in the middle of the ring, right in front of the Hardys, or if the Hardys would have left, right? But there was no reason for the Hardys to leave because it was their ring to stay in. So they didn't have to leave. So we could have put our boots right in front of them and then shook their hands. But no, we handed the boots over, which had never been done before, ever in the history of pro wrestling. So I can say we did something different. That's what I mean by the heel turn. Let's start to think of different ways to do that. That will be cool for the younger fan, but the older fan could also say, wow, I've never seen that before.
The one thing I will say that was a little bit different, Bully, is it was more than just chasing the person away. Like, you know, what she did to Kiana James, what she did to Julia, they're heels. So there's Jade like beating up the heels.
They're reeling people in. They're telling the audience, well, if she's coming down to save Tiffany, then she would never hurt Tiffany. That's been done 100 times.
Yeah,
before,
I know, but it was like, and a lot of times in WWE, you see Jade and then the heels just bail. But like the fact that there was a lot of physicality, and this is where I'll give Jade a lot of credit, Bully, is that, and we talked to Jade in studio around SummerSlam, if you remember, and Jade wants a little bit more aggression in what she does. She likes to show a little violence. I think she showed it on Friday night. I got to tell you, the physicality that she gave, you know, Julia, and the physicality that she gave Tiffany Stratton, I really liked. Her punches, her kicks, like, looked really like, I was like, holy shit, she's beating the shit out of Tiffany Stratton. Like, I like Jade in this role. I like Jade as a heel. And I think, Bully, this is the closest that we've seen of Jade in the WWE where she was positioned in AEW. I like the way that AEW positioned Jade. I like what they're doing with Jade right now because I really don't know that they had a firm grasp on Jade until this past Friday.
And I agree with what you're saying, going in the heel direction with Jade. I think she can definitely lean into it a lot more. And there was something about Jade the other night that caught my eye that I hope the WWE not really focuses on, but doesn't shy away from, because I think it added to Jade Cargill. Do you know what it is?
No, what is it?
The scar above the eye. That scar above the eye, because Jade's got a very pretty face, but that scar is substantial. That thing is going to stay there for a while. I mean, unless she goes and has it fixed cosmetically, which selfishly, I hope she doesn't do. Because that scar above the eye can something she can always go back to as a reminder of, you know, of the pain she feels from pro wrestling and maybe this new side of Jade. I just thought the scar made her look so mean. And I just hope that they stick with it.
And Bully, and unfortunately, because of the way things went in the match, we were talking about the ending and all the confusion. But when you look back at that triple threat where Jade got busted open, if you remember, she went right to the camera and she was like screaming, like she loved it. Like there's blood on her face. I thought it was a fantastic visual, and it would have been something that could have been remembered if we didn't get what we had later on in the match. But Jade's all about it. And ultimately, Bully, this is going to help Tiffany a lot, because now there's somebody that Tiffany's going to be in the ring with that the fans absolutely hate for all the right reasons. So I think this is going to help Tiffany as well.